Live MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse.
St. Louis, Missouri, the gateway to the West, is the site for our MCLA Division II doubleheader. This is game 2 between numbers 1 and 2, St. Thomas versus Davenport. Hello, everyone. You're watching Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse. I'm Dan Matthews alongside Todd Walker. This is the Lacrosse Lessons pregame show. Todd, epic battle here today early in the season between number 1 Davenport and number 2 St. Thomas. St. Thomas, a team without their leader, Joe Costello, this year.
Yeah, the Tommies have sort of had to change their personality a little bit. You lose a guy like Joe Costello who comes to St. Thomas from Division I NCAA lacrosse, and you're not going to replace him with any single player. So the rest of the team has to step up and fill in those shoes.
And stepping in to fill those shoes, and rather amicably, I must say, is Nick Altman, number 23 for the St. Thomas Tommies.
Yeah, you got a very impressive incoming freshman leading the team in scoring right now with 8 goals and 2 assists, and he's one of those guys that the Tommies are looking to step up, and so far he's met that challenge.
And then they've got veteran defenseman, number 11, Jesse Amar, 6'2", 200 pounds from Andover High School. Leads the defense really through his actions, both on and off the field.
Yeah, Jesse is he's going to draw the number 1 attackman on the other team every game, and he's the guy that they look to shut down the other team's offense and lead the Tommies D.
The Tommies coach, Pete Moosbrugger, been there for 11 years now. He spent the last couple with Joe Costello, and he's really excited about the ability he has to recruit inside the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, the local high school lacrosse scene in Minnesota has that's one of those places we talk about as the next hotbed of lacrosse, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of good players coming out of the area, and Coach Moosbrugger is trying to get them all to come to St. Thomas.
Not a doubt about it. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and take a look at the number 1 MCLA Division II lacrosse club, Davenport Panthers.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here,
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores! Fires, score! What a beautiful pass! Charges in, scores!
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7, only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to the St. Louis Invitational. CBC High School, the site, W. Michael Ross Stadium, the field where this epic battle, early season battle, will take place between Davenport and St. Thomas. For the Davenport Panthers, Todd, they rotate goalies Zach Higgins, number 35, and Jose Alexis Bouquet. Really kind of the heart and soul. Both great netminders, although you see a flaw in their style.
Yeah, these are 2 big, large goalies, and they're both from Canada. And I've got to suspect that both of them played more than their share of box lacrosse. They tend to go down, that is, bend their knees and get real low when they see a shot coming. That's a real strong characteristic of a box goalie. Does not serve you well in a 6-foot-tall cage, however. So it'll be interesting to see if the Tommies pick on these guys up high.
And they are 2 of 3 Canadians on this Davenport roster. For the Davenport Panthers offensively, the new heart and soul has become Jordan Rixmeyer.
Yeah, Jordan Rixmeyer, the kind of attackman I like to see. He's good both on the ball and off the ball. He's got 9 goals and 10 assists coming into this game. So he'll drive and take the shot when he's got the opportunity. But if you slide too early or you go with the double team, he's got his heads up and got his eyes up and will find the open man for the assist.
Rixmeyer has really kind of filled the shoes as a scorer, as has Lyle Parks, replacing Sean Beer, a large absence for this Davenport squad.
Yeah, they've managed to spread their scoring around really nicely all up and down the roster, and again, you can't shut off any one guy. They've got 5 or 6 guys that'll come at you and shoot the ball at will and put it on cage and can get you in a hole real fast.
The Davenport Panthers are the visitors today. Let's take a minute and look at their starting lineup.
And starting at attack is Jordan Rixmeyer, Dominic Baggiano, and Lyle Parks. Starting midfield will be Cody Cross, Jack Turcotte, and Taylor Keyworth. The starting D, Mackenzie Ganzak, Sam White, and Joe Turcotte. And in the goal, Zach Higgins.
Also for that Davenport squad, Bobby Collar. Bobby, their Fogo on the field. He's winning faceoffs at a 70% clip, and he scooped up 30 ground balls.
Yeah, Davenport will send actually several guys out to the faceoff X, and they're all really good. So as a faceoff team, a faceoff squad, they're up around 70-80% total for their faceoffs, and that really does a great service to the team to come up with a possession on the faceoffs almost every time.
This is the Lax Lessons pregame show. We've talked about Davenport. We've talked about St. Thomas. What we haven't done is taken a look at the Tommies starting lineup.
Starting at attack, Peter Carbonneau, David Burke, and Nick Altman. The starting midfield will be Joe Palermo, David Chilpala, and Peter Schubloom. Starting D is Sam Posey, who's actually the long stick midi, Kevin Gauss, Ben Vasco, and Jesse Amar. And in the goal, Ryan Zellinger.
Let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be ready for the opening face-off of this battle between number 1 and number 2, live in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Dave Wakefield, head coach of Northern Colorado, and you're watching Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports News Smack Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Back in St. Louis, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. Teams coming to midfield for the traditional pregame goalie handshake. And Todd, this game, I don't know what to say about it. I hope we're not building it up too much and end up getting let down. But this is one of those matchups that you look for all the time.
No, these are 2 good teams, Dan, and regardless of personnel that they've lost from last season's campaign, both these coaches do a spectacular job of reloading. They both have sources of high school sources for players, and they just keep coming out. So regardless of who they've got and who they've lost, they're going to be good every year.
Tommy's fans traveling en masse down here to St. Louis to support their team. And it's always good to see the Tommy fans show up to support the St. Thomas lacrosse program.
Yeah, it's nice to see a group of lacrosse fans travel. The officials are at midfield giving instructions to the team, and our officials for today are referee Wally Schaefer, field judge Barrett Smith, and the umpire Brad Sherman. I'm expecting this to be a fairly easy game to officiate, Dan. Both these teams play hard, but the skill level is pretty high in this one, and I would expect a pretty uneventful game in terms of penalties.
Alexis Bouquet is going to get the nod to start the first half for the Davenport Panthers. Meanwhile, on the other side, it'll be Ryan Zeilinger for St. Thomas. St. Thomas, face-off by committee, all of them averaging 80% or better on the year. Bobby Collar there for Davenport. Collar actually takes the face-off. Ground ball scooped up on the near side by Adkins, and Davenport's going to get first crack. Panthers set up the offense. That's Cross up top. He's going to get it over to Taylor Keyworth. Davenport setting it up. Really spreading out that St. Thomas defense. Keyworth to Rixmeyer. Back up top to Keyworth. Davenport will be patient, but they'll score in flurries. That's Chapin White. White, a sophomore. Gets it over to Keyworth. Keyworth's going to set all the way up at the midfield. Keyworth likes this dodge from the top. He's going to go right. He's got the screen. Gets inside. Throws the ball away, intended for Cody Cross. The ball will be turned over to the Tommies.
Yeah, sort of looking for a pick and roll there, Dan, and really didn't run it spectacularly well, and the ball was kind of behind the pick man and just rolled out of bounds.
Joe Palermo, redshirt sophomore, start the ball in motion for St. Thomas. St. Thomas working the ball all the way across to the other side. Bam Shaft, presenting sponsor of Lax TV. Bam Shaft, the original lacrosse bamboo shaft. Inside Lacrosse, also a presenting sponsor of today's action. Inside Lacrosse Magazine, the source for the sport.
Yeah, we had Davenport offside on that clear, Dan. Number 5, Dominic Baggiano, kind of got his toes across the line, couldn't stop, and got the offside call.
Matt Cleven, number 17 for St. Thomas, will start the ball in for the Tommies. He gets it up to Schubloom. Tommy's working the ball around.
Set up in a 3-3.
Carbonneau behind the cage. Tommy's patient with the ball. That's Carbonneau. Inside shot to goal. That one by David Chilipala.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was looking at pre-game, Dan, is the Davenport goalie's tendency to go down on a bounce shot, and here comes a bounce shot. He's way low, bounce it up high over the top of his stick. I think they're going to have trouble with that all day if the Tommies keep that up.
St. Thomas jumps out early, 1-0 over Davenport. Just 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the game. Bobby Collar at the face-off X for Davenport. That ball's loose on the far side, out of bounds. It'll be St. Thomas ball. Nope, I stand corrected. That ball's going to Davenport.
Not your fault, Dan. The official pointed the other way initially.
That's what I thought he did. Davenport will start it up. That's Keyworth. Up to Cross. Cross dodging from up top. He's got his man beat. Shoots and scores. So Cody Cross answers just 18 seconds later, and we're knotted at 1.
Yeah, some of what we expected to see out of Davenport. Cody Cross, one of the leading scorers on the Davenport squad. Just a nice drive down the alley. Nice bounce shot. Tallies the first goal for Davenport.
Sun starting to set here in St. Louis, folks, and won't be long before it's right in our eyes. We'll keep you apprised of all of the action. Face-off win for Davenport. That's Bobby Collar.
Wow.
With the scoop. Nice check. Loose ball picked up by St. Thomas. That's an errant pass. Goaltender chasing after it. Everybody getting in on the action. It's finally scooped up by Sam Posel. St. Thomas on the clear. That one gets loose. Picked off by Davenport. Going the other direction is Nate Adkins. Adkins with the swim. Loses the ball on the swim. Picked up by St. Thomas and John Michael Kuhn. Kuhn clears midfield and will carry it into the offensive zone and through the box.
Yeah, there's an excellent example, Dan, of where the swim move gets overused. If you're one-on-one with a short stick, it can be an effective dodge. But if you're trying to get through two guys and one of them or both of them have a long stick in their hand, you're really running a huge risk that you're going to lose the ball.
Hersman has it up top. He gives it over to Kuhn. Back up top to Hersman. Hersman's going to look to set the offense. He's covered by Kyle Anglem. Ball behind the cage. That's David Burke, junior attackman from Totino Grace High School in Minnesota. Here comes the dodge, left side, shoots down low, save made by Bouquet. Davenport the other way.
I think you may have had some help from the pipe on that one, Dan.
Anguilm has it, rolls it across the field. That's Cody Cross. Cross sends it up top. I believe that's Chapin White. Working the ball around behind the cage is Boggiano. Up top. That shot defended. There's another shot. Save made. And kicked out. It's heading out of bounds. It's going to be St. Thomas ball. .9:49 to go here in the first period. We're all square at 1. Number 1, Davenport. Number 2, St. Thomas. This mid-March tilt at the St. Louis Invitational. St. Thomas with the ball. Up top, that's Palermo. Palermo's going to dodge the middle. Loses possession of the ball. That's going to be scooped up by Joe Turcotte. Sorry, that was Nate Adkins with the ball.
Yeah, this is a real nice matchup in this game, Dan. But a good weekend all the way around. We've got several teams from the top 20 and in the Division II ranks, and for an early season event, this has really been it's a great venue, and it's a nice group of teams to kind of get the season kicked off well and certain.
In our first game, we had number 16 Missouri Baptist taking down number 14 Northern Colorado 13-3. That game actually finishing 17 hours. More than 17 hours after it started. It was actually about 19 hours after it started yesterday. We've got a turnover. It's going to be St. Thomas ball. We're under 9 minutes. We're going to take immediate timeout on the field. 8:43 to go here in St. Louis in the first quarter. 1-1 your score. We'll be back after this.
Hi, I'm Dave Wakefield, head coach of Northern Colorado, and you're watching Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Live MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse.
Nicely done, Todd. You could be a spokesperson. Todd Walker. I'm Dan Matthews. This is Lax TV. You also hear us every Sunday night on Lacrosse Talk, North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to lacrosse. On the clear was David Burke. No, that's not. That's Hersman. Hersman gets the clear for St. Thomas. Ball sails out of bounds. Nice backup by the Tommies. We'll restart. Up top to Palermo. Palermo comes near side for Burke. Behind the cage to Carbonell. That's Altman. Goal line extended on the far side. Tommy circling the wagons here in the first period. We're at CBC High School, W. Michael Ross Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, the St. Louis Invitational. Number 1 Davenport, number 2 St. Thomas doing battle in this mid-March tilt. That ball rolls out of bounds. It'll belong to Davenport on the change of possession.
Yeah, nice job by the Davenport attack there on the sideline. There's no reason at all to try and pick that ball up. You just need to take your defenseman out of the play, let the ball roll out of bounds, and pick it up on the restart.
That restart is going to be made by Chapin White. Cross over to Rixmeyer. Rixmeyer, a good kid. We had a chance to talk to him before the game. He rolls around the cage to the far side, tries to feed the middle. Davenport maintains possession. That's Keyworth to cross. Almost a cross check there by Kevin Goss. Davenport working the ball. That's Cross. Cross rolls out of it. Gives it up, the ball loose. Keyworth picks it up. Can't tell you how many times We called Cross to beer last year in the championship semifinals against Grand Valley. Davenport not missing a beat so far this year. That feed over to Boggiano. Boggiano can't hang on to it. He's pushed from behind. It's going to remain Davenport ball. Cross up top. Over to Rieksmeyer. Rieksmeyer beats his man, comes inside, left-handed shot. That's a save. Ball goes out of bounds. Rieksmeyer backs up his own shot.
Yeah, Jordan again got a little too deep on the dodge and was really put in a position where he had to put the stick behind him and try and sneak it past the goalie, and that's a tough shot.
The pass intended for Boggiano rolls out past almost up to midfield, where Cody Cross picks it up. He gives it to Keyworth. Keyworth will reset the offense. Here comes a pick. That ball's into Cross, down on the ground, picked up by St. Thomas, coming the other way. Coach Merceberger referred to the wheels on his kids. That was James Mackey. On the clear for St. Thomas. Carbonneau behind the cage for Altman. Up top on the far side. Working the ball over to the near side to Schublum. Surprised by the low-scoring affair so far, Todd?
No, I'm really not, Dan. Both these teams are extremely patient and are gonna work for nothing but good quality shots. And if that takes a couple minutes per possession, these teams both play a lot like a Division I NCAA teams, and it's gonna be very slow and deliberate. They'll take their fast break chances when they come, but for the most part, they're not going to do anything crazy.
Goalies trade outstanding saves on those two offensive possessions. St. Thomas has it again in their offensive end.
Folks, remember to follow us on Twitter and send us your tweets during the game at LaxTV, at LAXXTV. We'd like to see your tweets as the game goes along, and if we have the opportunity, we'll respond to them when we can.
Nick Altman, freshman, on the near side, sends the ball behind the cage to Carbonneau. Carbonneau is marked up by Turcotte. St. Thomas setting the offense. There's a hop shot. Ball sails out of bounds. Backed up well by the Tommies. That shot by Palermo from up top. Palermo, 6'1", 225 pounds. And Totino Grace up in Minnesota. He's also an NCAA D1 transfer from Quinnipiac. He'll take some face-offs. He's had 5 this season, winning them at an 80% clip. The dodge from up top. Shot sails wide off the stick of Schublum. St. Thomas maintains possession. Oh, so patient are the Tommies. We're down under 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker here in St. Louis, Missouri at the St. Louis Invitational. Coming from around the cage is number 6, Peter Schublum. He's got his 6th of the season.
Yeah, nice drive there, Dan, by Schublum on coming off the wing from behind. Just good speed dodge. Just beat his man with his foot speed. Got high enough above the cage where he had a good angle and snuck it past the pipe for the goal.
2-1 St. Thomas. Just over 3 minutes to go. St. Thomas wins the faceoff. Goes straight to the cage. Shot to save. That's Bouquet on top of it. for Davenport. He makes the quick clearing pass to Quentin St. Clair. St. Clair into the offensive zone. He kicks it over to Parks. Parks gets it behind the cage. That's Boggiano. Talk about a scoring machine. Boggiano has 13 goals and 22 assists so far this season for Davenport. Up top to St. Clair. Over to Jack Turcotte. Jack Turcotte, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Ball inside, St. Thomas scoops it up. Tommy's working the clear. Ball turned over. It'll belong to Davenport with 1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Correction on Boggiano's stats: 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points for Boggiano. Thought those numbers seemed awfully high. I think they've only played 2 or 3 games.
That would be a machine.
Even at 9 and 13, that's a machine. But
yeah,
still,
he's scoring a lot of goals and getting a lot of assists. So he's doing the job.
Shot off the pipe by Boggiano. Almost looked at number 10 for the year. St. Thomas looking to clear. Good job by the Tommies, being patient, as well as Davenport forcing a slowdown on that clear, not allowing a transition. So St. Thomas with the ball. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. 2-1 our score in favor of the Tommies. Tommies, for the first time in a long time, not the team with the target on their back. That doesn't not make them a team that people want to beat. Bouquet with the save. Davenport going the other way. If they hustle, they could throw the ball away, but they don't. Nice backup on the play. That's Rixmeyer. Rixmeyer has 3 seconds. 2. We've got a ward on Rixmeyer. St. Thomas is going to run the clock out to end the first quarter of play. Your score: the St. Thomas Tommies 2, the Davenport Panthers 1. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Boggiano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to St. Louis, everybody. We're about ready for the start of the second quarter. Our score is St. Thomas 2, Davenport 1. St. Thomas on goals by Chilapala and Shoebloom. And Cody Cross gets the goal for Davenport. That's all the scoring in the first quarter. Kind of expected just a little tiny bit more out of these two squads early on.
Brought to you in part by In Lax We Trust. Listen to the best NCAA D3 lacrosse action on the Lacrosse Radio Network, the home of live lacrosse audio via InLaxWeTrust.com. And by Lax Lessons. Stay tuned for Lax Lessons Play of the Game. Play of the Game brought to you by Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook.
I'm thinking you definitely have a career as a spokesperson. I definitely think so. We're going to hit the face-off X. Davenport and St. Thomas, 2-1, a one-goal game here early on. Davenport wins the face-off. That face-off for Davenport, not taken by Bobby Collar, one of the few that's not. Nevertheless, Davenport has the ball. That's Keyworth, bringing it near side into the box. Davenport works it behind the net. That's Boggiano. Up top to Cross. Cross is marked up defensively by Posel. Over to Rieksmeyer. Rieksmeyer has his cutter. That's Cross. Gets it back to Rieksmeyer. That pass intended for Keyworth is intercepted. The Wheels taking it into the other end of the field was Hasbargen.
As a
St. Thomas will set the offense.
real low percentage feed attempt there by Richmeyer. Dan, wow. Great
What an
shot.
incredible goal that was by Carbonell. We're going to need another look at that one.
Just a nice look from behind, and there's a case, unlike the goal we saw earlier today, where the behind the back shot was absolutely the right call. You see the ball move downfield, get behind X.
You have a procedure. That ball's going to go to Davenport. Bobby Collar with it.
Here's the feed, and Carbonell takes the shot, takes the ball, and he was running at an angle with his right hand. The behind the back shot was absolutely the right play right there, and he puts it right over the goalie's shoulder.
Great job by Carbonell. That's his 5th of the year.
We see a lot of younger players, Dan, trying that shot when it's not really for the situation where Carbonell was spot on.
Rieksmeyer comes out. Passes the ball across. That's St. Clair. Tries to feed it down low through three St. Thomas Tommies. And saying that heads the other. Shot by the long stick. That was number 14, Kevin Goss. St. Thomas will maintain possession and set their offense. St. Thomas working the ball around. Up top to Palermo. Palermo's going to back it up to midfield. He's going to work one-on-one. He's got his man beat. Palermo uncorks. Saved by Bouquet. Follow-up goal scored by number 16 for the St. Thomas Tommies. I don't have him on my roster. Do you, Todd?
I do not.
We will do our best to find out who that is. I'm sure any one of a number of the fans below us can tell us. That one scored at 2 minutes and 54 seconds of the second period.
Yeah.
St. Thomas has opened up a 3-goal lead.
Again, what gets called a garbage goal, but they all count one, folks. And nice job picking up the loose ball on the crease and dumping it in the cage.
Great job by the St. Thomas long pole. Again, somebody else we don't have on our rosters.
Yeah, he got away with an illegal procedure there. He came out of the box to pick that ball up before there was possession.
We've got a substitution. It's going to be St. Thomas ball.
That was Palermo on the goal, Dan. It looked like you're 100% correct, though. It looked like 16 coming off the field.
I thought it was 16. I thought Palermo took the initial shot. There's a shot and a goal from the far side. We know who that is. That's David Schlipala. 5-1 St. Thomas. Bob Clarkson desperately needs to settle his team down.
Yeah, just
and he will. Yeah, I should be a coach.
Just about to mention this might be a nice time for a timeout.
And Bob Clarkson takes that timeout, as will we. St. Thomas up 5-1 here in St. Louis. We'll be back right after this.
The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303 Outlaws or log on to milehighLaxClassic.com.
Back in St. Louis at the St. Louis Invitational. Number 1 Davenport trailing the number 2 St. Thomas Tommies by 4. An exhibition of sorts here in the second period for the Tommies. They rattled off 4 consecutive goals to take this 5-1 lead. 3 of them here in the second period, and we're only 3 minutes and 35 seconds in.
Yeah, good example of the scoring in spurts that you talked about earlier. And if the opportunity is there, they'll take the quick shot and try to get the quick goal. No question about it.
There's a face-off W for Davenport. Rixmeyer has the ball near side. He's marked up by Jesse Amar. That's no surprise. Amar can hang with anybody. Had a breakout season last year, and being the leader that he is, decided to coordinate the off-season weight training for the Tommies as well. Inside, shot. The chase is on. They're going to give it to Davenport. That was a close chase.
Well, I think it was not as close as it looked, Dan. The whistle should be blown the moment that the ball crosses the end line. It's not a foot race to see who gets the end line first. It's who's closest to the point that the ball crosses the end line when the ball crosses the end line. So I think that really was not quite as close a contest as it looked.
Hard shot by Cross from the top and a great save by Zeilinger for the Tommies. Clear by Amar. There's Wheels, that's Hersman. Hersman with the shot, that one bounces off the pipe. Right now, Bouquet needs to settle down. He's not seeing the ball well at all.
Well, you know, we've talked about other games, Dan, and here it is again. That ball came right out of the sun. Plus, that was the shot that we said was going to be tough for these goalies to handle. The bouncer that comes up high.
So it's Davenport ball. Turcotte will get the restart for the Panthers. Behind the cage for Boggiano. Boggiano making moves, trying to get out front. Unable to do so. Great seal-off defense by the Tommies. Back up top to Turcotte. Turcotte's going to go one-on-one from the top. He gets in. Bad angle shot. Bounces off the side of the pipe. Out of bounds. It belonged to Davenport. Boggiano behind the cage. He's marked up defensively by Gauss. Rieksmeyer. Rieksmeyer continuing to work on Amar. Pulls it back out. Gets it up top to Turcotte. Turcotte double teamed. He beats the double team. Shoots
Nice
and
shot.
scores. That's Jack Turcotte stopping the 4-goal run by St. Thomas.
And we've got a media timeout here with 8:53 to go. With the Tommies, St. Thomas leading the Davenport Panthers 5-2. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Dave Wakefield, head coach of Northern Colorado, and you're watching Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Boggiano into the middle to Cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Welcome back to St. Louis. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. We're at CBCHS W. Michael Ross Stadium at the St. Louis Invitational, hosted by Missouri Baptist University and their men's lacrosse program. Tonight's matchup, number 1 versus number 2, the Davenport Panthers and St. Thomas Tommies. The Tommies up by 3 with just over 8.5 to go here in the first half. Good battle at the X for this face-off. Davenport comes up with it. That's in the stick of Adkins. Adkins brings it out and gives it to Rieksmeyer.
Let's take a quick look at that last goal, Dan. It was a real nice hesitation move by Turcotte. He got the ball, driving the ball down the alley. You'll see him kind of do a little stop and go move here as his defenseman overcommits the other side, and he puts the ball on the opposite side of the net. That's a nice little hesitation move.
Davenport sets the offense. That's Cross up top. Cross with the left-hand cradle. Heads for the left alley, but decides to pull it back out. This is Cross at his best. Taking his man one-on-one. Dodging from the top. Feeds down low to Keyworth. Keyworth can't get the shot off. St. Thomas comes up with the ball.
Yeah, they ran that play perfectly, Dan. Drew the slide from the wing, and Keyworth was right there. He just didn't handle the pass.
And Keyworth all over the field right now. A great job feeding the ball in. There's a nice move on the far side. That move and shot was Lyle Parks. Rixmeyer ends up coming up with the loose ball. Left-hand cradle. Works his way past 4 Tommy defenders. And Davenport's inverted the offense now. Behind the cage is Boggiano. That's a crank by Parks and a save by goaltender Ryan Zeilinger.
Yeah, Zeilinger would be happy if they took those all day. He's 14, 15 yards out, and not a great angle. Not a lot of goal to shoot at, and Zeilinger will eat those up.
St. Thomas on the clear. Check the bottom of your screen, folks, and you'll see some scores of games in the MCLA that have taken place over the last 2 or 3 days. Tommy's with it. Working the ball around. We talked earlier about the first game that we had here at the St. Louis Invitational. Earlier today, it was Kennesaw State and Missouri State, and Kennesaw State winning a 12-9 game and with a score not as close as that might indicate.
No, they gave up 3 late goals that really didn't mean much. And Kennesaw really impressive as far as the way they move the ball and distribute it to pretty much everybody on the field. They've got a nice team.
That's a big hit.
Probably a big trip.
I thought it was a hit. I saw the tail end of it. I have a brick wall kind of blocking that part of it. The way people were oohing and awing, I thought somebody finally got leveled and it was clean. We would have had a Bam Shaft Bam of the game instead of a Bam Shaft player of the game.
Not so much.
Tommy's with possession behind the cage. Spin shot by Burke. Bounces right over the top of the cage. Burke has it again. He kicks it up top to Beeson. Tommy's working the ball around. Next wave of Tommy players getting into the game now. Give those starters a little bit of rest. Burke behind the cage, over to Beeson on the near side. Circle offense, that's Duckstad up top. He's a freshman. Davenport defender loses his stick. That was Quentin St. Clair. Picks it up, no harm, no foul.
Ouch. I think the Panthers got away with one in the face mask there.
Around the far side is Burke behind the cage. He spins inside, has nowhere to go, feeds it up top. That's a shot to the near side. Sails wide. That shot coming off the cross of Nick Altman, freshman from Eden Prairie. Talked about him before the game. Coach Pete Moosebrugger, very big on Altman. There's Altman's shot. That one sails wide. We're not far from having no escape from that sun, Todd.
No, I think we're about to be charbroiled up here. But David Burke, there was another behind the back shot. Probably not called for. He really had ran himself out of angle, and even going behind the back wasn't going to improve that very much. So he really would have been better served just to run that ball behind to X and look for the next pass.
St. Thomas has the ball on the restart. Just under 4 to go in the first half. 5-2 Tommies. Number 2 versus number 1, and so far number 2 is getting the best of number 1. That's Palermo up top. He's got Adkins on him. Palermo's going to bring it to midfield, and he's going to run the center of the field. Utilizing that speed, feeds to the far side to Burke. Burke has no shot, so he has to pull it out. He does. That is number 16. With the ball on the far side.
That is absolutely number 16. That last play, Dan, the Tommies have run several times. They basically drive that right alley, dump it to the wing, and they circle a guy out on the backside off the crease. And it's actually worked almost every time they've run it.
The masked man comes around the side of the cage, fires on Bouquet, who deflects it high and behind the net, out of bounds. We're under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse. It's number 1 Davenport, number 2 St. Thomas, here at the St. Louis Invitational. DU with possession of the ball. Successful clear, and darn near into the box, but not quite. Lost possession of the ball. That was Turcotte. St. Thomas is coming the other way. Stay tuned in about 2 minutes for our halftime show, presented by Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. There's a shot. That was by Altman. Good save by Bouquet. The chase. DU comes up with the ball. That's Mackenzie Gonzak. I think it's actually Ganzak. He feeds inside. We actually have a timeout on the play. Davenport uses number 2 of the half. Your score, 5-2. We'll be back with the conclusion of the first half right after this.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL.
That's a rainbow ball.
And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from along Palmero, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
Back in St. Louis, 90 seconds left in the first half. Davenport trailing by 3 with possession of the ball. Panthers working the ball around the cage. Rixmeyer on the near side. That's Keyworth. Keyworth is going to dodge from the top. Left-hand cradle, spins around with the right, and pulls it back out. Rixmeyer to cross. Back up top. Keyworth. Down low to Rixmeyer. Great slides by St. Thomas. Rixmeyer working one-on-one. Now he's got his hands free, but didn't have the shot. There's a low shot. Save made by the goaltender. Zeilinger for St. Thomas. And the chase by Boggiano keeps the ball in Davenport's possession. Keyworth behind the cage. We're under 30 to go in the first half. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker in St. Louis. Keyworth has the feed. Shot to goal. That one's Lyle Parks with his 17th tally of the season. Parks, 6'1", 195-pound attackman out of Canton High School in Canton, Michigan. And the score is 5-3.
Yeah, I'm not sure that ball was originally headed for Parks, Dan, but it did get through the middle and Parks was alert enough to pick up the bouncing pass, and good hard quick shot.
14 minutes and 43 seconds. We've got a 2-goal game. And the first back-to-backs put together by the Davenport Panthers. Collar at the X for Davenport. He forces it out. Davenport picks it up. That's Rixmeyer. 13 to go. Rixmeyer's going to go one-on-one. Spins to the inside. Unselfish to Parks. Parks drops the ball. That's going to end the half for us here in St. Louis. Your score at halftime, 5-3. St. Thomas over Davenport. We'll be back with the Inside Lacrosse halftime show right after this.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Experience the energy of college lacrosse at the Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. A championship-ready lineup that showcases the intensity of the nation's fastest-growing sport. For tickets and schedule, call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to MileHighLaxClassic.com. The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic, elevating lacrosse.
Welcome back to St. Louis, everybody. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker. We're at halftime in the Inside Lacrosse halftime show. Todd, the Davenport Panthers off to a much slower start than we're accustomed to from that squad.
Yeah, some tough shots. Probably not handling the ball as well as they would like at this juncture. But again, we're early in the season, and this is a big game. College kids tend to be a little tight in a big matchup like this early in the season. So maybe not all that unexpected, but both teams being very deliberate, and Davenport not benefiting as much from the unsettled situations as St. Thomas is.
And then on the other side of the ball, you've got St. Thomas really playing very solid lacrosse, very balanced lacrosse.
Yeah, they've same kind of methodical approach to their offense, but when there's been an opportunity for them to push the ball and get easy goals off of unsettled situations, they're more than happy to do that, and that accounts for the 2-goal difference that we see right now.
Not a doubt about it. Both teams look a little tired. The warmth of the late afternoon sun combined with the humidity because of all of the rain earlier in the day, certainly taking its toll on both squads.
Yeah, it's pretty muggy down there on the field, but these guys are young enough. They'll get water at halftime and rehydrate, and they'll be ready to go here for the second half.
When we come back after the break, we'll talk a little more about both squads and what Todd might say to each of them as they enter halftime. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Anthony Grisani, head coach of the Kennesaw State University Owls, and you're watching Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross, bounce, score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long Palmero, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse. It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
To keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7, only on CBS Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Andy Jolly, head coach of Missouri Baptist University TV.
This is Coach Pat Callahan of the Missouri State Bears, and you're watching Lax TV.
The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to milehighLaxClassic.com.
Bison lacrosse is about hard work.
Bison Lax is about dedication.
Bison lacrosse, it's about sacrifice.
Bison Lax is all about teamwork.
Bison Lacrosse is passion.
It's all about the herds. Go Bison.
Welcome back to St. Louis, everybody. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. We're at halftime. Refresh your browsers. You should be able to pick up the feed. Our apologies for the technical difficulties. We are in the middle of a barn burner, literally. Not just the game, but the press box too. 5-3 our score. St. Thomas with the lead over number 1 Davenport right now. The Tommies have played real solid lacrosse. Todd, take us inside the huddles at halftime. If you're Coach Pete Moosberger, what are you saying to those Tommies?
Yeah, I'm just telling them more of the same, fellas. Keep the pressure on the Davenport D, and I'm certainly telling everybody to when they take a shot, take a bounce shot. Both these goalies have a tendency to go low and are open to that. The high bouncer over their shoulder. As far as the Davenport sideline goes, just settle down, you guys. Run the offense, run the plays. They're not. You're down by 2. That's, you can make that up in the first minute and a half of the third quarter. So they're not down by a mile by any description. So keep playing your game, and you'll get your opportunities, and we'll put some goals in and get back into this thing. No real huge issues on either side of the field, and I'm expecting a real competitive second half.
St. Thomas, really, it's been really a dead even game, except for about a 7-minute flurry for St. Thomas, in which they scored 4 goals. St. Thomas has not scored in the last 11 and a half minutes of action, while Davenport's put up 2 in the second part of the first half. So you're looking at the scoreboard. It's 5-3 in a game that really has been played dead even, except for that 7-minute stretch.
Yeah, there was just a little flurry there where we had a lot of unsettled situations, and I'll credit to St. Thomas. They did a great job of finding the loose ball and putting the quick shot on goal that the goalie had no chance to react to. So just a real good even balanced offense from St. Thomas, with the addition of the unsettled situations that they've been able to capitalize on.
Let's take a quick 45-second break, and when we come back, we'll be ready for the second half face-off. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Welcome back to St. Louis, everybody. We're just about ready for the second half face-off. At the end of the game, stay tuned for our Lax Lessons Play of the Game. Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook. Also, the Lacrosse Talk post-game show. Lacrosse Talk, North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to lacrosse. Every Sunday evening at lacrossetalkradio.com, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're at the X, ready for the second half. The sun has finally submerged behind some clouds, and it's cooling off a little bit here in the press box and down on the field. Faceoff is going to be scooped up by Davenport. That's Kyle Healy. Healy's going to circle back and be patient with his clear. He gets it into the hands of the wily senior, Mackenzie Gonzak. Bouquet still in net for Davenport. That's a little bit of a break from tradition of flopping goalies at halftime for the Panthers. Bouquet sends it all the way downfield, and the ball's going to be picked up by Boggiano. Not necessarily the best pass, but it was effective.
Yeah, no, if by that, Dan, you mean he was incredibly lucky, then I would agree with you. He put a little bit too much air onto that ball. If he put it on a rope, he had the attackman pretty open to make that catch, but he put way too much air underneath it and really should have been picked off by the D.
That's Keyworth with possession. Left-hand cradle coming to the near side. Spins inside, feeds the ball inside, and a goal.
Great
Not
hands.
sure how that one found the back of the net, but that was Chapin White, sophomore midfielder from Clarkson High School in Clarkston, Michigan. That's his 5th of the year. Coach says he's got a great shot and good foot speed and good size, and that tends to help in a situation like that.
Yeah, the good size certainly served him well there, but great hands, Dan. He really had no business holding on to that ball. He got both body checked and a stick check put on him, and still managed to fight through it and get the ball past the goalie. That's a nice piece of stick work right there.
So the Panthers pull within one and win the ensuing faceoff with a chance to tie here early in the 3rd period. Boggiano behind the cage, feeds up top. We've got a whistle, and Boggiano came right through the crease. Otherwise, that was Rigsmeyer with a wide open shot from the top on the far wing.
It's Jordan Juice Richmeyer, as we found out before the game today.
St. Thomas on the clear. Those wheels belong to Peter Schublum. Schublum gets the ball in. And the ball sails out of bounds. St. Thomas ball. Still need to find out who that mystery man is in the number 16.
Yeah, the Tommies went and added a couple numbers on us here based on the rosters that we have, and we have absolutely no idea who number 16 is.
If anybody out there who's watching the game knows, give us a tweet.
Absolutely.
At LaxTV, LAXX TV. Questions are, who are number 12 and 16 in purple, number 30 in white? Those are the missing members of our rosters. There's a shot. Nice save by Bouquet. Bouquet starting to find himself now, see the ball well, and bring his team back into this ball game. Down by 1. The Panthers with possession. Bouquet with a risky pass, but he gets it to Richmeyer. Richmeyer clears the ball, takes it into the offensive zone. That's St. Clair.
Wow, got to be a
We're
hole.
going to have a penalty coming up. That one's on Palermo. Ball hits the turf. The laundry on the field is going to be a hold.
They probably could have called that on one of 2 options. Dan, one was the stick wrapped around his torso, and the other one was his free hand was on his back. So a hold any way you want to cut that one.
On the restart, it'll be Cody Cross. Davenport swinging the ball around. All the way across. Down low looking for Boggiano, and Boggiano can't reach that pass. Little too high. St. Thomas comes up with it. That's Amar. Josie Amar brings the ball into the zone and gives it up to Burke. Got another flag down. There's a shot and a goal on a wicked shot by Peter Carbonneau.
Yeah, great individual move by Carbonneau, bringing around the crease, and he really probably could have used another step or half a step before he had the great angle, but he did a spectacular job of sneaking it in that very skinny spot that the Bouquet provided him. Yeah, looking at the replay, you definitely would say you needed another step to really make that a great shot. But if the placement is good enough, you don't need the extra step.
Ben Lucius used to wear number 37. He's now number 16. And Ryan Doyle is number 12. And I know I've seen both of them on my rosters. Ryan Doyle used to wear number 50. He's number 12.
There we go. Mystery solved.
Outstanding. Thank you to the kind soul who brought that information to the press box. Nothing like being an announcer lost. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker, we're here in St. Louis, 6-4. St. Thomas with the lead, 10:43 to go here in the third quarter. And Todd, Davenport went on a 3-goal run, and Carbonneau put that to a quick stop.
Yeah, it was a big goal to sort of stop the Davenport momentum there. But Davenport's got an extra man situation here, and we'll see if they can get another one back.
That's Cross. Cross is marked up by Opsahl. St. Thomas forces a turnover. We'll head the other direction.
Very aggressive on the man down D there by the Tommies. And it paid off.
Tommies will be able to kill off this penalty. The drive to the cage. Pass to the back. That's Burke. Burke with possession for St. Thomas. Behind the cage. He's marked up by Taylor Keyworth. They switch off with Joe Turcotte, picking up the man behind the cage. Ball out front. Burke marked up by Ganzak. Ball down on the turf. Chasing it down is Carbonneau on the far side, just above goal line extended. St. Thomas resets the offense.
Nice job on the D there by Ganzak. That was a good strip.
Davenport comes the other way. Boggiano behind the cage. Adam Bowers, long pole, just leaving the field now for Davenport. Cross working near side. He's marked up by Schublum. Back to Boggiano, back to the wing to Cross. Up top to White. Feeds it over to St. Clair. St. Clair's going to back up. He's going to dodge from the top. He beats his man at the top. Left hand's free. Nice feed inside. That's Cross. Shoots. Nice save by goaltender Ryan Zeilinger. Boggiano loses it off his stick. There's a push. That push is called on Kevin Gauss. And the ball will remain in the possession of the Panthers.
Yeah, that was that same play, Dan, that we've seen about 5 or 6 times. They just ran it to the other side. Drive down the left alley. Look for the backside guy coming off circling off the crease.
Errant pass by number 44, Quentin St. Clair for Davenport.
We've got an immediate timeout.
This definitively our most highly attended game of the weekend so far. Your score right now is 6-4 in favor of number 2 St. Thomas over number 1 Davenport. We'll be back right after this break.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, scores. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Elton John once sang a song, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." I'm thrilled to death the sun is going down. It's cooled off quite considerably, but St. Thomas is not cooled off. They're playing very solid lacrosse here today, and they lead Davenport 6-4. Here in a matchup between number 2 and number 1 at the St. Louis Invitational.
Yeah, from a playing standpoint, Dan, the light is really kind of tough right now. The sun is about 9/10 of the way down, but it's still up. The lights are on here in the stadium, but in the kind of the twilight here, it gets kind of tough to see the ball.
Schublin feeds the ball behind. A great look. What a save by Bouquet. That could be a candidate for our play of the game.
Absolutely.
Davenport wins this game for any reason. That could be our play of the game, the turning point. It was a huge stop by Alexis Bouquet. Here comes Davenport. In transition off of that save. Settling in the offense now is Richmeyer behind the cage. He gives it up to Bogiano. Bogiano drops it. We're going to have a penalty coming up. That one is going to be, I believe that's on 16, Lucius, our mystery man identified. And Lucius is going to go off the field for a 30-second hold. Alexis Bouquet, his first name Jose Alexis Bouquet. Frequently uses the Alexis. Davenport man up, 30 seconds. Ball up top to Turcotte. Good work inside. There's a shot. That ball sails off the helmet. We got another flag down. Looks like we're going to be going 2 men down now for the Tommies.
Yeah, again,
on another hold.
I think he actually got him for a slash there, Dan, on that pass into the middle. The long pole D got a little overly vociferous with his check and got called for the slash.
6-4 our score. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The St. Thomas Tommies on top.
Great spot here, though, for Davenport to get one back.
Yeah, 2 men up. Davenport really should come out of this one with a goal. Working it around. There's Rixmeyer, he scores. Nice look to Rixmeyer, and he puts it into the back of the cage. Pulls the Panthers within 1.
Yeah, there's the kind of play we were looking for out of Rixmeyer. He gets the ball on that left wing. Nice fake on the pass into the middle, and just pulls the ball back and buries it in the net.
Teams trading goals so far here in the 3rd period. That's a face-off win for St. Thomas. Trying to work it in transition are the Tommies. Ball down. That's going to be scooped up by Carbonneau. Carbonneau up top. Feeds it down low to Burke. Burke comes around the cage. Kicks it all the way up top. That's Lucius. St. Thomas settling in on offense.
Thanks to our Twitter followers, also Dan, we did get some response from a tweet. One of our followers did clear up the player mysteries for us as well. So we had 2 sources of resolution there, and thanks to the Twitter followers for clearing that up.
And make sure you follow us on Twitter at Lax, LAXX TV is our handle. Todd manning the computer here in the booth. Happy to interact with you on Twitter. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker. We're here with you in St. Louis, Missouri. Gateway to the West, home of the famous Arch. I bet there's some pretty good barbecue around here too. Might have been able to barbecue us a little bit earlier.
We definitely could have been some pretty good barbecue.
Ground ball battle there, won by Davenport. And the Panthers are going to head the other direction. That's Daniel Bailey, far side. He was the long pole. Here comes Wheels. All the way behind the cage. Ogiano, far side. Kicks it over to St. Clair. St. Clair gives it up to Stelter. Back up top. St. Clair's going to drive. It's what I have referred to in basketball as the dribble drive penetration. His feed inside, intended for Turcotte, is dropped. Picked up by St. Thomas. Look for St. Thomas to go to the goal in transition.
Nice
Shot
fake.
by the long pole over the top of the net. That was the long pole of Kevin Gauss, who went coast to coast, and the ball sails into the pond.
Good luck.
St. Thomas on offense. That ball sails wide.
Again, Kevin Gauss on that fast break, Dan, doing just exactly what you want your long pole to do. If nobody stops you going to the cage, take it in and shoot it. And he took a great bounce shot. He just put it about 4 inches over the top of the net. But he definitely has read the scouting report on the goalie.
St. Thomas working the ball and the clock. That's Carbonneau behind the cage. Kicks it all the way up top to Schublum. Schublum, right-hand cradle. He's going to give it up top to Palermo. Near side to Hersman. Back to Palermo. St. Thomas really settling in on offense now. Ball not even in the box right this moment. Palermo's going to take care of that. He gets it in. That bounce shot sails high. Bounced a little too early.
Yeah, he put that one on the carpet about 4 yards out from the crease, from the goal line, and had no chance to not bounce over the goal.
Solid defense being played here by Davenport. Joe Turcotte, 6'1", 210-pound defender. He's the one that's been marking up Carbonell. Zach Higgins is on top of Palermo. Ball behind the cage now. Schublum. He's working on Atkins. Schublum comes up.
Nice
Low
shot.
shot. Great save. Bouquet really seeing the ball very well here in the second half. A much different game. I think maybe the sun had a little bit to do with what happened in the first half with him.
Yeah, very possible.
Ball down on the turf. Scooped up, shot, save. Palermo got it on net. Bouquet made the save. Solid performance here in the second half by Bouquet. So far only giving up 1 goal here in the third period. 6-5 our score. Davenport looking to knot it up before the end of the quarter. Keyworth has it. He's on the far side.
Just over 1 minute here, Dan. I would expect Davenport to kind of work for the last shot and see if they can go into the fourth quarter with it all tied up.
Rixmeyer up top, the offense inverted for Davenport. Rixmeyer has Turcotte. Turcotte fires. That ball sails wide. Back up top. Great feed by Boggiano. We're going to have a flag. And taking a walk to the bench is going to be, looks like it's going to be Palermo.
Yeah, Boggiano did a nice job off the restart, firing a good, quick, hard pass into Turcotte. Turcotte's defenseman caught napping a little bit above him on the crease, and really had no choice other than to drill him in the back to try and prevent him from scoring a goal, which he did.
45 seconds left. Davenport on offense, trailing by 1. Turcotte has it. Over to Parks. Back to Turcotte. Rixmeyer on the far side. Turcotte. Turcotte had his hands free. Didn't have a shot. Gives it to Rixmeyer. Under 30. Oh! Nice shot. Nice try at the touch goal. Couldn't get it. Loose ball. Scooped up by St. Thomas. I think that was Cross sitting there waiting for that touch pass.
Yeah, it was Cody Cross, and he really tried to over finesse that one. He just had to quick stick that into the top of the net, and it was a free goal.
Shot sails wide. 0.7 of a second left. That's going to just about do it for the third quarter. We're going to have a 1-goal game as we head into the fourth frame. And we do. 6-5 your score. Davenport trailing St. Thomas by 1. We'll come back for the fourth quarter right after this.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to Cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Here in this #1 versus #2 matchup, a huge early season matchup, and we all owe this matchup all to the St. Louis Invitational coordinator, Andy Jolly. Andy, thanks for coming in and joining us for a little bit.
My pleasure.
Andy, in coordinating this event, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Challenges. Acquiring fields up to par with this kind of competition. This facility is obviously wonderful. I wanted to have every game here, it didn't work, and then we had to find some backup fields like St. Louis Soccer Park and playing high school that you're not going to get to see. But and also just finding the right dates that work for everyone, working around spring breaks, and then just making everyone happy with the matchups. And, I think it took me a little bit, a couple rounds of asked for their requests, some second choices, and wanted to make sure that Davenport played St. Thomas. We wanted to make sure Davenport got the rematch with North Dakota, and I wanted to make sure Missouri Baptist got the best games that we could.
And I bet that was a little bit difficult in dealing with some nepotism issues to make sure that you were playing favorites with your own squad.
No, I don't care at all. I don't mind taking the days off between games, and no one's brought it up. I think they all would have done the same thing, and I think they'd be if they didn't.
No question.
Andy, when you put together an event like this, how much time goes into the process?
Early on, it was a lot. First, you get the contacts from all the teams, and then you try to get the matchups, then the fields, and then just the times and everything.
That one off the pipe. Bouquet saved by his pole. And we remain 6-5, but St. Thomas still has the ball.
So it was kind of smooth sailing in the beginning, and then where it really got tricky was, coordinating the right refs. And then when, for instance, this facility, CBC, all of a sudden came up empty on Sunday, and I had to move 2 games. That got really tricky, but I knock on wood the whole time, and it ended up working out really well.
Outstanding. Andy, we sure appreciate the fact that you brought us in to broadcast this event. It's been fun so far, and I'm sure that it only gets better tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really excited you were able to get here. The MCLA fans need to see this action. It's been no disappointments this far, and just alone across Twitter feed, hearing nothing but positive feedback.
We sure appreciate the comments that we do get. And Davenport has taken possession in their offensive end. Todd? Davenport moving the ball around. Don't leave us, Andy. Yeah. Well, do we need answers from Andy all over again? Okay, no answers from Andy all over again. We know the mic is hot now. Davenport turns it over to St. Thomas. Andy, when you look at these two squads and how evenly matched they are you surprised by the score at this point? Would you expect a higher scoring game out of these two?
I wouldn't have been surprised for a higher scoring match, but as soon as I saw them, you started seeing them early in the second quarter start to concede the transition play. These teams just want to have at each other in the offensive and defensive end and settled possessions, and so I'm not surprised by the score right now at all. That's good to see, because that's the kind of lacrosse that we like to play with our program as well. We don't like to play run and gun. We want teams to beat us in our own ends.
I noticed this morning as we concluded your weather-delayed game against Northern Colorado that Missouri Baptist is not going to show any mercy to anybody, are they?
Well, when you're still a young program like us and you're going for your first ranked opponent with victory, we're trying to make a statement. We have a lot of people out there doubting us, and we're under the big TV lights, and we're kind of want to say that we're ready to go.
You've got a big matchup against St. Thomas tomorrow. When you play that game, what do you have to do to slow down this team and contain them now that they've got a more balanced attack than they've had previously?
we do not want to give up transition. We don't want to give up transition to any team, especially St. Thomas. You might see us concede some rights tomorrow as well, just like you've seen in this game. We want them to test us one-on-one. We may slow up our slides a little bit too. We just want to make them beat us. We want to play team offense, team defense all day long, and it's really going to be a matter of who's making the big plays and who's making the least amount of mistakes possible, I think.
Hey, Andy, you brought up something earlier that I was curious about.
Oh,
huge
huge
great
goal.
shot.
That's a huge goal. That's a hat trick for Klipala for St. Thomas, giving the Tommies a 2-goal lead again.
Yeah, nice feed over the top to Chapala, and great hard high shot that beat Bouquet, and nothing you could do about that one other than pull it out of the back of the net. Andy, you mentioned officials. Does the MCLA as an organization help with assigning officials, or is it strictly up to the home coach to arrange for the officials for a given game?
The officials were assigned by an official.
Chris signing for the RLC, the local conference here, and he did a remarkable job, and he was able to find some of the best officials that this Midwest can offer. For the most part, it's been all St. Louis guys. That for a time being, we thought we might have to drive some guys down from Chicago, but this crew especially is probably my favorite crew. Wally Schaefer, Barrett Jackson, and Brad Shearman. They're a great officiating crew.
Yeah, so far we've been the officiating that we've seen yesterday and today. We certainly have no bones to pick with them.
Yeah. I find that in Missouri, they can traditionally be a little conservative on the let them mentality, but tonight they've done a great job. They put the whistles in the pocket and just called what's necessary.
Terrific.
Really has been outstanding. Andy, thanks for taking a few minutes to join us, and we'll look forward to calling your game against St. Thomas tomorrow.
My pleasure. We'll see you bright and early.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
Andy Jolly, head coach and invitational director here at Missouri Baptist University in the St. Louis Invitational. We've got a barn burner on our hands now. We've got 11 minutes to go. We've got a 2-goal game between number 2 St. Thomas and number 1 Davenport. St. Thomas with the ball in the offensive zone. St. Thomas patiently working the ball. That's John Michael Kuhn up top. He's going to go one-on-one, tries to make the feed inside. That goes off the stick of his teammate. Rolls to the back, but it's picked up by Kuhn, following up his own pass.
And I think we got a flag.
Could be pretty physical now. We've got two. We're going to have 2 white shirts heading off the field momentarily.
I think we might be 3 men down here, Dan.
2 men down, tough enough. 3, brutal, especially when you trail by 2.
And Jordan Richmeyer is making a huge mistake here by running down the length of the field and speaking with the official. He is a captain, and with that comes some very limited prerogatives, but that ain't one of them. He's really kind of lucky he didn't get an additional flag for running down the length of the field.
Especially if you're questioning the calls. It's a tough position to be in, but you have to let the officials do their job, and kids at all levels need to learn that lesson and that respect for officiating. Hence, I think that at some level, young people, when they are eligible to do so, should become officials.
No question about it. It should be a part and parcel of playing the game. You can't play the games without the officials. You can't play without coaches. You can't play without players. But the officials ranks really need to be restocked by the kids that are playing today. Are the officials of tomorrow. And you're right. It should be a requirement. And St. Thomas is in fact 3 men up at this point. There were three different players that received penalties. I believe there were 2 slashes and a push with possession. So 3 men up for 30 seconds, 2 men up after that 30-second penalty expires for another 30 seconds before Davenport gets back to even up. And now actually we have a 4th defender coming in, so it looks like St. Thomas is only going to be 2 men up.
You know, I know in hockey that you could never go more than 2 men down at any given time. Are there similar parallels to hockey with lacrosse?
Yeah, in lacrosse it's 3, mainly because you have to stay. The inviolable rule is you must stay on side, and that means the goalie and 3 defenders. So in order to maintain that, 3 men down is as bad as it gets.
St. Thomas working the 2-man up. Feed up top. Ball dropped by Palermo. He scoots it back up. St. Thomas with another chance. There's a feed on the inside to Carbonneau. Carbonneau's shot sails wide. Restart for St. Thomas.
And the 30-second penalty has expired, so Davenport is 1 man down.
6 on 5. St. Thomas patient with possession. Shot and a goal. Not sure how that one found the back of the net. Definitely want to see a replay of that. I think that was Carbonneau again.
Carbonneau again on the doorstep on the side of the crease. Just a little half step up above the goal line extended, and just stuffed it in between Bouquet and the pipe. A little bit of a tactical error by Bouquet. He didn't have that left leg glued to the pipe the way he should have, and Carbonneau put it right past him.
Got a hold on the face-off. It's going to be St. Thomas ball. St. Thomas has opened their lead back up to 3.
Yeah, and we're going to get a steady dose of ball control here, Dan, going forward. Again, though, I would expect the Tommies to exploit any opportunity they get on an unsettled situation to go to the goal.
We've got a timeout on the field with 8:35 to go here in the 4th frame. It's St. Thomas 8, Davenport 5. You're watching Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here comes the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Sunset in St. Louis, and is the sun setting on the #1 ranked Davenport Panthers?
It's starting to look that way, Dan, although 8:35 left, absolutely anything is possible.
Top ranked Panthers trail by 3 with 8:35 to go. We know that the Panthers can score goals in bunches. They can't afford to go down by another. Colpitts has the ball behind the cage. His feed sails wide. It's going to be Davenport ball heading the other direction. Desperately in need of another goal.
There's a case, Dan, where
oh my goodness. There was nothing that he could do about that. We got laundry on the field. We're gonna have a penalty on St. Thomas. Nothing we could do about that at all. He thought he was going to have a clean hit, and the Davenport player, number 36, Engel, turned his back on him just at the last second, and we're going to go man down for St. Thomas with a huge hit. That's one of those penalties that your coach doesn't want to take, but he's going to accept it because he absolutely knows that there's absolutely nothing that Colpitts could do about it.
That's one where you actually could have made the argument that he turned and technically that if the offensive player turns just before you make contact, there's physically nothing you could do to keep from hitting him. And that one.
Let's take a look at that one again. A huge hit.
Yeah, I think he just in this case I think he just teed him up, and it's so far a 12-yard run. And no, there was no turning there. He
teed him up, and it looked. It initially looked at first like Angwell would turn to his left rather than to his right, and that turn to the right creates the penalty.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what he was expecting to happen, and it just didn't work out that way. And you're gonna get a flag on that one every time, folks.
Rixmeyer works the ball around for Davenport. Ball on the turf. Lights are on here at CBC. Beautiful facility they have at Christian Brothers College High School. And Missouri Baptist fortunate to be allowed to use a great bounce pass over to Rixmeyer and a bounce shot that just sails right over the top of the crossbar. Backed up nicely by Bojano. And the ball will remain with Davenport. 7 minutes to go. Bojano's pass for Rixmeyer, too high, out of bounds. St. Thomas ball.
Yeah, at this point, Davenport cannot afford to be careless with the ball, and that was a careless pass. Bojano tried to rifle it across the field for really no great reason to Rixmeyer, and too high over his head for him to go up and get it.
Bojano trying to chase his man down. That's Hersman with the clear for St. Thomas. Hersman been very effective on the clear for the Tommies today. St. Thomas, look for them to take a little bit of air out of the ball here on each possession they have the remainder of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll make sure everybody gets a touch before they go into any kind of effort to attack the ball, and we'll keep an eye on the officials and see if they wait the requisite 45 seconds before they start warning them about stalling.
St. Thomas working the ball around. It's back up top to Schublum. There's a drive for Palermo. It's about time, Todd, to have some conversation about a potential player of the game. I'm looking at this, and I see Carbonneau with 3. I see Schublum with 1. Schlipala with 3. So it really is kind of a toss-up right this minute.
Yeah, I guess my tendency right now, Dan, would be leaning towards Carbonneau. Is the goals that he's had were really skinny shots that he managed to get past the goalie. Not high angle and maybe not real high percentage shots, but he put them all in the hoop, and and they were all at. It seems like they were all at big times to change the momentum back to the Tommies and maybe put them up that extra goal where they needed to be. So I'd be my vote would be going to Carbonell.
Carbonell was Mr. Lacrosse his senior year of high school in the state of Minnesota. That was 3 short years ago. Carbonell, the 5'10", 160-pound attackman. One more for him today would match his season totals. Battle for a ground ball. It's going to be won by the Tommies. That's Schubloom. To Palermo. Back behind the cage. Up top, a rocket and a great save made by Bouquet.
Again, a low-to-low shot that's right down in Bouquet's wheelhouse, because that's where he's going anyway. He kind of sets up low to begin with, and so that shot really was right into his stick.
Great feed inside, shot off the side of the cage. Ball's going to go over to the Tommies.
Yeah, that was Cody Cross basically checked the goalie's stick while he was the ball was in his possession in the crease, and that's a no-brainer for the officials to call interference.
Lucius with possession for the Tommies. He kicks it back behind the cage. Carbonell sitting behind the cage right now with Ganzak on him. Feed out in front to Burke. Burke comes to the near side, drawing his defender Sam White with him. Lucius to Palermo. Palermo lobs it over to Schubloom. Schubloom's going to set the offense. We're under 4 minutes to play here at W. Michael Ross Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We're on the campus of Christian Brothers College High School. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker, we're glad you're tuned in for this MCLA Division II action on Lax TV. Make sure you stay tuned after the game for the Lacrosse Talk post-game show. Where we'll feature our Bam Shaft player of the game as well as our Lax Lessons play of the game. Lucius working inside, loses possession of the ball. Davenport will look to clear. They trail by 3. 3 minutes to go here in St. Louis at the St. Louis Invitational. The marquee matchup of this Invitational featuring St. Thomas and Davenport.
And with 2:50 left in the game, Davenport has really got to be pushing the issue here and taking every opportunity to get the goal and get a good shot.
Rixmeyer really has been manhandled defensively by St. Thomas. Rixmeyer only with 1 goal today.
Nice look.
And there's a goal from Cross to cut the lead to 2.
It was a nice pass from Richmeyer inside to Cross. He really rifled it, and Cross did an admirable job of handling that pass. That one had some mustard on it, and Cross able to make the catch, and in that tight, the goalie has no chance. You see Richmeyer gets past his little space on his man, rolls back, and just fires a bullet into Cross, who makes a great catch and buries the shot.
Eight to 6 our score. Davenport wins the faceoff. A goal here, they can pull within 1. That's St. Clair. Luciano behind the cage. We're going to have a timeout, Davenport, with 2:07 to go. here in the fourth quarter. St. Thomas leading Davenport by 2. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
I'm Anthony Grisani, head coach of the Kennesaw State University Owls, and you're watching Lax TV.
Top-ranked Davenport trailing St. Thomas by 2 here at W. Michael Ross Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you. Davenport with possession, looking to pull within 1. Folks, don't go away. This game's not over. I've seen Davenport score quickly and in bunches. That's cross. Ball inside, down low to Keyworth. Keyworth back up top to Cross. They'll be patient. Plenty of time to go here in this game. Cross with the feet across. Boggiano's in the back. St. Thomas picks up the loose ball. We're going the other way. Stepped out of bounds, did the St. Thomas goalie. It's going to be Davenport ball. Boggiano's going to start it up for the Panthers. Up top to Cross. He fires it over to White. Back behind the cage to Boggiano. Boggiano looking to get the hands free. Feeds it across. There's a shot.
Boom.
Score, Ritzmeyer. Jordan Ritzmeyer pulls the Panthers within 1.
Really a great hard shot there from Ritzmeyer. Good feed across to find the open guy, but Ritzmeyer he's got that. He likes that left-handed shot over on that.
To Boggiano.
Just gunned it over the top.
Boggiano looking to get the hands free. Feeds it across. There's a shot. Score, Ritzmeyer.
Shot, folks. Bobby Collar at the X for Davenport. Can't see who's there for St. Thomas. Collar a face-off machine. This one's picked up by Davenport. A minute to go. Coming down the near side is Adkins. He feeds it behind to Boggiano. Timeout Davenport. Don't go away, folks. We've got a minute left in this one. 8-7, St. Thomas over Davenport. We'll be back for the conclusion right after this. Is that on?
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL.
That's a rainbow ball.
And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scored.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
That's gorgeous. Kudos to the camera crew. The beautiful shot of the sunset through the trees here in St. Louis, Missouri. Davenport getting hot at just the right time. 2 goals in the last minute and 20 seconds. Has them within 1 and possession of the ball. I told you folks when it was 8-5, don't go away, that this one was far from over. The St. Thomas fans below us knew that. Not a one has moved from their seats. Nice nail biter for the Tommies.
Nice job by Davenport on that last possession to move the ball and look for the gap in the defense to get the ball across to Richmeyer, who just has a really nice hard lefty shot over on that wing. Now we'll see what Davenport squad has put together for this restart with a minute left.
Bojano behind the cage. He's going to work one-on-one. Rolls to the inside. Bojano looking for the feed. Tries to force it in there. Too tight. St. Thomas with the clear. 40 seconds. Keyworth can't catch him. We've got a timeout for the Tommies with 37.8 seconds left. We're going to keep it here. Davenport really going to have to press on defense now.
Yeah, you would expect to see the goalie coming out and basically double teaming the ball wherever it goes. They'll I'm sure start with a double team on the ball right off the restart and look to shut off everybody adjacent, which is going to include the goalie out of his cage where he's comfortable running around trying to guard somebody. So the Tommies will spread the field and try and put players in a spot where there's an outlet pass for the guy who starts the ball in, and we'll see who wins this chess match.
37.8 seconds left, 8-7. St. Thomas really came out to play in this one and has looked really solid, maybe reasserting themselves as the team to beat on the D2 level.
You'd have to put them there if they manage to hang on and gut this one out. A little surprised on that last Davenport possession, Dan. I would have expected him not to try and force quite so tight a pass into the crease. Maybe move the ball a little bit more around the perimeter and look for a diagonal pass that had a little bit better chance of getting through. You got at least one stick on that guy in the crease and probably 2. And the ball really doesn't have that's a real tight squeeze in there and tough pass to complete.
A tough look. Bojano really did try to force that one in there to Parks. Parks is the one that's been held silent, and he leads the team in scoring, goal scoring so far this season, and they've really held him in check. Davenport's had to get their scoring from elsewhere. Good ride defensively for Davenport. St. Thomas is going to work the clock. We've got another timeout. This one charged to St. Thomas. 8-7, 27.5 seconds left to go in this one. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back for the conclusion from St. Louis. It's St. Thomas 8, Davenport 7. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV. 27.5 left. Davenport on the double team. St. Thomas loses possession, ball out of bounds. It's going to belong to Davenport with 22.6 seconds left. Don't go away, folks. Davenport has to go the length of the field. This pass. Boijano can't come up with it. St. Thomas does. 13 seconds left. Ball intercepted. Davenport has it. That's Rixmeyer. 6, 5, score! With 4 seconds left, we're tied! Davenport never goes away. 8-8 to score. Let's take a look at the replay on that one, folks. Crack work by our camera crew. Davenport just doesn't stop pressing. St. Thomas has to be wondering what's happened to him. So just as we send Todd Walker down to the sidelines, he has to bolt back upstairs for the possibility of overtime. 8-8, Davenport and St. Thomas. 3, 2, 1, we're going overtime, folks. It's everything we said it would be, Todd Walker. Wow. Let's take a break as we await the first overtime period. We're knotted at 8 here in St. Louis.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Boijano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from along Palmero, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
We're back for overtime. Todd, Davenport hasn't led all game. They finally come back, tie it up at 8. You are watching Davenport and St. Thomas on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse.
Yeah, and the way overtime works here, Dan, is they have a coin toss, another coin toss, and as it turns out, the way the goals will be defended the same way they ended in regulation. Then we'll play a 4-minute overtime period. If no one scores, we'll play another 4-minute overtime period. If no one scores, we'll play another 4-minute overtime period, switching ends of the field at after each overtime.
And they get one timeout per overtime.
That's correct.
Inside, Carbonneau, save, Bouquet. Ball picked up by Burke. Timeout, St. Thomas. 3:36 to go here in the first overtime. We're knotted at 8. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you here on Lax TV. And our play of the game has to be the final goal. Whoever wins. Unfortunately for young Benjamin Lucius, he will no longer get our play of the game. If Davenport wins, though, maybe it's that last 15 seconds of regulation that becomes the play of the game, not the overtime goal.
Yeah, you gotta give all the credit in the world to Davenport for refusing to lay down and just say this one's over. Did a great job keeping pressure on the Tommies, and good things happen when you get those turnovers in your own offensive end, and they did a spectacular job of coming up with a loose ball and getting the goal.
So we're all square at 8. First overtime, 3:36 to go. And this is one of those, you don't know how long it could go. We've gone stretches of 8, 10, 12 minutes with no goals. And we just saw Davenport score 3 in the last 2.5 minutes to knot this one up.
Yeah, the longest game, I've seen several 6 overtime period games, folks. So potentially an extra 24 minutes of lacrosse here, but it obviously generally does not go that long. 2 overtimes, pretty common. 3, you start to get a little less so, and onward from there. But when the first goal wins, St. Thomas did what was expected here, called a timeout after they didn't initially have a good look at the goal, and they'll set up a play, and let's see what they came up with.
St. Thomas on offense. That's Hersman with the ball up top. Carbonell's had the hot hand. Hersman's going to feed it far side. That's Schublu. Back up top to Hersman.
Yeah, they're locking off on Carbonell, Dan. If somebody's gonna beat him, it isn't gonna be him.
Right now, you've got Palermo on the back door. Get the ball over to him in a hurry, and he's got the chance to get a quick shot off. But that pass has to come all the way across the field to him in order for that to happen.
They've got a short stick on Carbonell, so if they can get him the ball and get him some space.
Carbonell sitting on the crease. That's a turnover. Davenport ball. Look for Davenport to get this ball across midfield and call a timeout and set their offense.
Yeah, again, if they've got a good fast break look, they'll take it. But if there's nothing there, they'll call the timeout and set something up. And right now they're running Richmeyer across the midfield to try and get the cheap clear. That's not there, but they find the midi in the middle of the field.
Ball down. St. Thomas cover. That's Ryan Doyle who picked it up for St. Thomas. Coming near side is James Mackey. Sophomore defensive mid. He gets the clear. That's Carbonell. Carbonell shoots and scores. St. Thomas wins. On the bounce shot past Bouquet. The Tommies come out victorious after letting that 3-goal lead slip away. When we come back, we'll have the Lacrosse Talk postgame show. Our play and player of the game will both be represented by the same man. 9-8 your final here in St. Louis. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores!
Anthony Grisani, head coach of the Kennesaw State University Owls, and you're watching Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Welcome back to St. Louis, folks. 9-8, our final in overtime. Number 2, St. Thomas knocks off top-ranked Davenport in this top-tier MCLA Division II action. Let's take a look at, not a look, let's take a listen to how we got here. St. Thomas had an 8-5 lead with about 10 minutes to go. They maintained that lead until the 12:29 mark of the fourth quarter when Cody Cross put one into the back of the net, making the score 8-6. Jordan Rixmeyer followed that up just about a minute later, making it 8-7. And then Davenport just wouldn't go away in this game. After having trailed the entire game, Davenport showed some moxie. They ended up coming back on the goal by Parks at 14:56, just 4 seconds remaining on the clock. And then we head to overtime. And Carbonneau, our player of the game, has our play of the game as well because it's the game-winning goal from number 4 for St. Thomas, Peter Carbonneau, with the bounce shot. You can see him here on the near side, really left all alone. And goaltender Alexis Bouquet had no chance with Carbonneau bouncing that ball top right corner and giving the St. Thomas Tommies the victory over Davenport. Our Todd Walker's down on the field working to get a word in with Coach Moosberger, as well as our player of the game, Peter Carbonneau. So when we come back, we'll hope to have that interview for you folks, and then Todd and I will wrap this one up from W. Michael Ross Stadium on the campus of CBC High School here in St. Louis, Missouri. We'll be right back after this.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Andy Jolly, head coach of Missouri Baptist University, and you're watching Lax TV.
The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to milehighLaxClassic.com.
Bison Lacrosse is about hard work.
Bison Lax is about dedication.
Bison Lacrosse, it's about sacrifice.
Bison Lax is all about teamwork.
Bison Lacrosse is passion.
It's all about the herds. Go Bison.
Hi, I'm Dave Wakefield, head coach of Northern Colorado, and you're watching Lax TV.
Experience the energy of college lacrosse at the Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. A championship-ready lineup that showcases the intensity of the nation's fastest-growing sport. For tickets and schedule, call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to milehighLaxClassic.com. The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic, elevating lacrosse.
A 9-8 overtime win over the Davenport Panthers, and Coach, we kind of got what we were expecting out of this game tonight.
Everyone got their money. There's money.
A very tight game, and your guys managed to come out on top. And I know you're proud of your kids.
I'm very proud of them. We were a young team, and we got to learn to finish games. I'd rather see when we're up 3 goals, it doesn't go to overtime. But it's early, and we know what we need to work on. But I can't be happier with my defense. Amar, Vasco, and Gauze did an excellent job. Those are some 3 great attackmen. And I think they held Baggiano and Rick Meister to 1 goal apiece. That's hard to do if you look at the points they've been putting up. So those 2 did a great job. Kevin Gauze playing on Park did a great job too. I can't be proud of our guys. We did a great job defensively.
Super, and I know you're happy with our BAM Shaft player of the game that we'll bring in over on the side. Peter Carpino came into the game with 4 goals, and he leaves this one with 4 more, including none more important than the last and play.
You know, our defense at all, they gave us opportunity after opportunity to end the game after we just couldn't finish it for them. David Burke gave me a great feed backdoor and just happened to put it away.
That's a just happened to win the game, folks. Great game here tonight. The Tommies and the Panthers gave us everything we expected. An overtime game. Couldn't ask for anything more than that. And Dan, if you didn't like this one, you just don't like watching lacrosse. Back up to you.
Todd, we've been blessed with some fantastic games here on Lax TV, and I'm sure that there are more to come without a doubt. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back. Todd and I will wrap this one up from St. Louis, Missouri. Again, final score, St. Thomas 9, Davenport 8. We'll be back right after this. Tommies. We're back in St. Louis to wrap this one up on the Lacrosse Talk post-game show. You see the score there on your screen. St. Thomas 9, Davenport 8 in overtime. What an incredible contest, Todd. We've been blessed with some great games here on Lax TV so far this season.
Yeah, we've been kind of pointing to this one since the season started. We saw it on the schedule, and it certainly lived up to everything that we were expecting. You can't ask for more than an overtime win and a great comeback by Davenport to even get the game into that position. And Peter Carbonneau with a great game, three nice goals in regulation, and the fourth one in overtime to win it.
Outstanding action, just kind of all the way around. We want to take time to definitely thank our sponsors. Our sponsors include BAM Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft. Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Lacrosse Talk, North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to lacrosse. Make sure you turn in this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a special best of edition on Lacrosse Talk featuring all of our Crooked Arrows interviews over the last several weeks. In Lax We Trust, listen to the best NCAA D3 lacrosse action on the Lacrosse Radio Network, the home of live lacrosse audio, via inlaxwetrust.com. Lax Lessons, sponsor of our Play of the Game. Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook. And Lax TV staff, including Panchito Ojeda and Will Moss. Special thanks go out to Mike Bartoni of Christian Brothers College High School, Andrew Jolly of Missouri Baptist University. Production crew includes production director Guy Yankovic. Yeoman's work over there, Guy. Video director Stephen Bodeau. Information technology, Jeff Pinkerton, and our camera crew who did fantastic work here today, Russ Ballou, Robbie Hopt, and Ashley D. Alcamo. Thanks again so much. Tune in tomorrow, folks, starting at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West Coast, and we'll have more action right here from St. Louis at the St. Louis Invitational. Again, your final score, St. Thomas 9, Davenport 8 in overtime. You've been watching Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse. Good night, everybody.